Trotsky, Stalin's archenemy.
Leon Trotsky's life was not just political, it was revolutionary. Born Lev Davidovich Bronstein in 1879 in Ukraine, then part of the Russian Empire, Trotsky's early years were marked by rebellion against privilege, tradition, and Tsarist control. Brilliant, defiant, and articulate, he was drawn into Marxist circles by his teens and arrested before his 20s. Exile didn't break him, it sharpened him. From the start, Trotsky wasn't just a man of ideas, he was a storm in human form. In 1905, Trotsky made his name as a leader of the First Petrograd Soviet during Russia's failed revolution. His speeches were thunderous, his strategy sharp. Though the uprising failed, he emerged as a force capable of mobilizing masses. His passion and intellect were unmatched, and soon he stood side by side with Lenin in the heart of the Bolshevik cause. Together, they would shake the world. By 1917, revolution erupted again, this time unstoppable. Trotsky became the architect of the October Revolution, directing the Bolshevik seizure of power. While Lenin provided the vision, Trotsky executed the plan. As Commissar of War, he forged the Red Army from chaos and turned back internal enemies and foreign invaders alike. Without him, the Soviet Union might never have been born. But after Lenin's death in 1924, Trotsky's fortunes darkened. He believed in global revolution, international socialism. Stalin, however, had other plans: socialism in one country and absolute power. The two clashed bitterly. Stalin was secretive and ruthless. Trotsky was brilliant and loud. One would win, the other would pay dearly. Stalin moved swiftly. He isolated Trotsky, stripping him of military command, party influence, and finally, his homeland. In 1929, Trotsky was exiled from the Soviet Union. He fled from Turkey to France to Norway, finally landing in Mexico. But even oceans could not shield him from Stalin's reach. Trotsky was not forgotten, he was feared. Even in exile, Trotsky fought back with books, speeches, and letters. His masterpiece, The Revolution Betrayed, dissected Stalin's regime with surgical precision. He founded the Fourth International to challenge Stalinist communism and defend the ideals of true Marxism. His pen became a sword, infuriating Stalin, who saw his words as a threat more dangerous than armies. By 1940, Stalin had enough. In Mexico City, Trotsky lived under heavy guard, aware that death stalked him. He survived a machine gun attack in May, but his enemies would not miss twice. On August 20th, a Soviet agent, Ramon Mercader, bludgeoned Trotsky with an ice axe. He died the next day. His final words, a condemnation of tyranny and a defense of his life struggle. Trotsky's assassination was not just a murder, it was a message. Stalin had erased his rival not just from the Kremlin, but from existence. In the USSR, Trotsky's name became taboo, his image removed, his contributions denied, his family hunted. Stalin rewrote history with silence. Trotsky became a ghost. And yet, Trotsky's ideas refused to die. Across the world, from Latin America to Europe, leftist movements invoked his vision. He became a symbol of resistance against dictatorship, even within socialism. Though flawed and arrogant, he was also prophetic. He had warned of Stalin's terror before it unfolded, and history proved him right. Today, Leon Trotsky remains a complicated figure, part hero, part cautionary tale. He believed in revolution, but not tyranny. He fought for freedom, but flirted with violence. He was Stalin's greatest rival, not just in politics, but in legacy. And in the struggle between power and principle, Trotsky paid with his life to stand by his truth.
Trotsky's murder didn't erase his influence, it immortalized it. He became a martyr of political betrayal, a warning to radicals that revolutions often consume their own. In Mexico, his house became a shrine. Bullet holes from Stalin's first assassination attempt were left unrepaired. Visitors from around the world came to see where one of the 20th century's boldest voices took his final breath. Back in the Soviet Union, a chilling silence surrounded his name. Entire textbooks were rewritten, removing his role in the revolution. Children were taught that Stalin alone brought communism to life. His comrades were executed, his family scattered, hunted, and erased. The regime didn't just kill Trotsky, it tried to annihilate the idea of Trotskyism. Yet history is stubborn. In the decades after Stalin's death, a slow thaw began. Khrushchev's de-Stalinization hinted at the suppressed truth. Secret archives whispered of Trotsky's role. Though still demonized officially, his ideas crept back into scholarly circles. The Soviet Union could never quite bury the man who helped build it. Trotsky's writings predicted much of what came to pass: the rise of bureaucracy, the betrayal of revolutionary values, and the transformation of the workers' state into a dictatorship. His critiques of Stalin were not bitter, they were prophetic. And for many on the global left, Trotsky became a beacon of socialism with democracy. In Latin America, Europe, and even parts of the US, Trotskyist movements grew. His Fourth International inspired political parties and resistance groups. Though small and often divided, these movements carried forward his ideals: international solidarity, workers' democracy, and unwavering opposition to totalitarianism. In America, Trotsky's story resonated deeply during the Cold War. He symbolized the good communist who rejected Stalin's tyranny. Intellectuals like James Burnham and Irving Howe engaged with his legacy, and his critiques of Stalin's brutality gave anti-Stalinist leftists a moral foundation. Trotsky was no friend of capitalism, but he was proof that not all communists were Stalinist monsters. Today, the Trotsky Museum in Mexico City stands not only as a monument to a man, but to an idea that revolutions can be betrayed from within, that even the victors can become tyrants, and that those who speak truth to power, even flawed, exiled, hunted, can become legends. Trotsky's life was not a clean one. He believed in armed uprising. He was ruthless to enemies of the revolution. But his greatest crime in Stalin's eyes was that he never stopped thinking, never stopped questioning. He proved that dissent, even within a cause, can be more dangerous than opposition from outside. In the end, Trotsky was a man consumed by the fire he helped ignite. But fire illuminates as much as it burns. Through exile, through propaganda, through assassination, his vision endured. In every revolution that demands freedom from dictatorship, in every movement that resists betrayal from within, Trotsky's shadow marches on. To understand Stalin, we must study Trotsky. To understand the price of revolution, we must study those who tried to correct its course. Trotsky was not perfect, but he was fearless. And sometimes in history, that is enough to make a man immortal.